Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I guess I should say it too.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Woohoo. All right. This is Sexy Nerd Science, Season 3, Episode 21, episode title.
That's not the name of the episode.
But, sorry.
Good reading, though.
Oh.
Drew can read. So, yeah, let's get it started off this week. I love how Dale's typing something that's clearly in nerdy news.
Yeah, it's clearly in nerdy news. He didn't do the research.
I didn't do the research because everything I saw within that topic wasn't worthy of talking about.
What?
So that's why.
Oh,
So let's jump right into sexy news. Just to get this.
do we want to do
ball
this little bit of sad stuff real quick first?
That's usually how sexy news starts because we got to break you down to build you up.
Yeah.
Or pop culture news. I wish
Yeah.
we didn't necessarily call it sexy news all the
I
time.
mean,
Actually, you know what? No. Adam West was a very sexy human being. And he passed away. And
very sexy.
very
I think a lot of people would agree, especially in his prime. I feel like women found him very attractive.
He was a very attractive older man.
yeah, a little older is a little. But I mean, it's like when he was on Big Bang Theory, I was kind of like, that's Adam West. Looks like a leathery bag person.
I always want the Family Guy. He goes, Adam West. Adam West. That's always what I think about every time I hear his name.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Drat.
Yeah, so Adam West died at the age of 88 on Saturday, or was it Friday?
I believe it was Friday, yes.
Yeah, this past Friday. We could do the research, though.
I think it was. No, that's all right.
It was the 9th.
Well, it was the 9th, so that was Friday.
Boom.
Yeah, so he did pass away on June 9th, and just of natural causes, correct?
Cancer, I thought it was.
I mean, yeah, I
Late
guess.
stages of cancer.
Yeah, he was battling leukemia.
Oh, yeah.
He had. I was gonna say, I knew he had been battling. I didn't know if it was the leukemia that got him, or if it was just.
If it was the Riddler, came back and just
riddle me this.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
So sad time for Batman fans.
But I don't want to be sad. I want to be happy. So everybody, just real quick, we're going to go through and we're going to give our favorite onomatopoeia. And
Dale, do you need to research what an onomatopoeia is?
really? You know, I'll just get us started. My favorite onomatopoeia was wham.
I swear to God, I thought onomatopoeia was a musical instrument.
I think mine was kapow.
Dale's trying to spell onomatopoeia. He's looking it up.
While he's looking up, I'll jump in. But I think you guys took two of the good ones. I liked it when they did like literal ones. So when it would say punch. Or kick. Yeah. So when it was the literal ones on the Batman show.
Slam.
This says cuckoo and sizzle are two examples of these. And I think what you meant is like how the hitting action when something happens.
Yeah, so the sound effect noise.
Yeah.
However, our outline for our design for Sexy Nerd Science does look like one of those pop-up bubbles that you would get in a old classic Batman or even a comic book, which is where we kind of got the idea from. So, yeah, rest in peace to just one of the late great people, Adam West. And speaking of things
Adam West.
God. So we did anybody else besides Josh and I see the Mummy?
Dale did.
Dale saw the Mummy.
Yeah.
Iggy.
Iggy's waiting until it comes out on VHS, I think.
By the way, this
He
is
said
Iggy here.
video.
I'm joining.
He did say video.
I'm joining you guys.
Yeah.
You guys did do introductions, so I'm just introducing myself right now.
I forgot all about Iggy is joining us.
This random extra voice in the room. But no, I have not seen Mummy, but I told you guys, spoil away, because I am holding out till home video release.
Well,
Not a whole lot to spoil.
Iggy, well, welcome to SexyNerdScience, as you've never been on.
yeah.
You should have Googled it ahead of time, Iggy. That's what they should have done.
I should have Googled whether you guys were going to do intros or not.
We probably should have. This is poor planning.
I think you've been on and we've been on each other's shows enough that we can say the name. And
It's the rule. I've always had that as a guest rule. So by the third time you're at my house, like I'm no longer going to the kitchen or doing anything for you. You've been there and enough times that you know where everything's at. You can do it yourself. So I get it.
My grandparents yell at me every time I don't get Josh a drink when he comes over. I was like, you come over my grandparents' house more than anybody else, probably than any of my other friends, and you don't need to.
Are just as much my grandparents at this point in time.
Exactly.
So
the Mummy, the new 2000, the Tom Cruise.
Wow,
Mummy.
was that a transition between Dale's old grandparents and mummies?
Yes, that was
rude.
That was perfect. So the new. Oh gosh, that's terrifying. So the new Mummy came out, non-Brendan Fraser Mummy, and it was action-packed and full of excitement and crazy tie-ins to other things, fandoms, if you will. Josh, what did you think?
I was disappointed that we had a movie called The Mummy. None of it took place in Egypt.
But with good reason.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I feel like it was a little far-fetched. And why does Tom Cruise's character like this fluent American accent, but somehow like everybody else is English? British.
What's his Nick from New Girl was?
I think they were part of the American force.
They're part of like the U.S. Armed Forces of some sort, Army, military, Navy.
But
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the military.
I was like, Mummy. I want my favorite Mummy movies. I mean, like it was just as disappointing as The Mummy 3, I would say. Which had terracotta warriors, which are kind of like mummies, but not.
Dale, how did you feel about the movie?
I thought the movie overall, I liked the feel of it. I thought it was a little too quick, and the storyline didn't really stick with a lot of things. They kept jumping around to the different storylines because I think it is going to be a movie that continues on or has more movies after it, like a sequels after it. So I definitely liked the foundation that they started. However, I think Tom Cruise doesn't play a skittish, scared person that well. He kind of played that here. He's more confident of an actor, in my opinion. I felt he could have, the character could have been a little different, but overall I liked it.
How good was Sophia Patella at it? Best known for her performance as Gazelle in Kingsman.
Yeah, I was going to say, I noticed her right away. I was like, she was pretty good. She played a bad guy very well. She has those evil eyes, so she did a good job with the eyebrows and whatnot.
I'm okay with those evil eyes, though.
Yeah.
She was kind of pretty.
She's nice. But
I think to jump in on it, even though I didn't see it, I'll voice something on it. The big news, what I've read so far, is even though it's kind of bombed at the box office here in the States, this could end up being one of Tom Cruise's biggest hauls, what they're talking about worldwide. I know it set the opening weekend record in South Korea.
Really? It's crazy.
Those Koreans and their Mummy franchise. I don't know. I just was not a fan of how the story. I didn't like the story. And I kind of like the tie-ins they're trying to make with the other, essentially like monsters
Yeah.
But-
So if you didn't know, Iggy, they do a tie into Jekyll and Hyde. So
and Dracula.
and Dracula.
Yeah, Russell Crowe plays Dr. Jekyll. I do. So you kind of, I think, without even seeing it, assume that it's going to go that direction with his character, especially since he's such a known actor.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so they definitely set it up for either, like, the way I thought about it is the Mummy is the Iron Man of the Monsters franchise, whatever they're going to name the overarching Avengers type. So they're going to do
they're calling it the Dark Universe.
Dark Universe, that's what it was. Yeah.
So, made me want to think like they're going to redo League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, because you have Jekyll and Hyde and that, and then Dracula.
You know what's really funny though? Like, if Dracula is really the first movie on this, and you just compared Iron Man to like being the first movie in the Marvel franchise, and it's almost like how everyone just forgot that the Hulk movie came out before Iron Man.
Exactly. I mean, it was so far, but like that was it was like the second Hulk movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you had it, and it technically was supposed to, they said, tied in. But Iron Man was the first one where they really started saying, we're going to build a whole universe around this now.
But they did have the scene at the end of the Hulk that, like, brought it in, and you're like, oh, what is this? Because it was.
Did the Hulk come out before Iron Man?
I thought it did, at least.
No, the one Hulk at the end of the Hulk with. Who was it? Was it the one that was the one where they went from?
Because he had Robert Downey Jr. come out like at the end of it, so I feel like he was already established as Iron Man. I feel like Iron Man had to come out first.
Who was it where they had the Thor's hammer? I thought it was the end of Hulk where Thor's hammer came down. That was after Iron Man. Like, it was like Hulk and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here. 2008 is what I was seeing for the Incredible Hulk movie.
But that was...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Incredible Hulk movie was after Iron Man. And actually, we were mixed up a little bit. I think the Incredible Hulk movie is when they first said, we're going to tie this all together. Although it was still... I can't remember if I'm remembering it right, that Hulk was... Universal had the release rights at that time.
I believe so, because they ended up reshooting it, didn't they? A few years later. Something different. Just like Spider-Man. 8 million different Spider-Mans.
They had
guys, the reason why we're so confused, Iron Man literally came out in May of that year, and then in June, the Incredible Hulk came out like right after.
So it's like a month difference.
Yeah, like that's why we're like I'm
well,
like,
so
I feel like which came first, but
at the end of the Hulk, that was when they were like, that's when they teased the Thor, because they went like...
No, at the end of Hulk, Tony Stark meets the general in the bar.
Yeah.
So at what point was it Iron Man that they went to the site of the hammer crashing?
That was Captain America.
What?
Yeah, I think it was the end of the first Captain America movie.
Yeah. Again, it's happened so long ago. But the Easter egg for the Mummy, I kind of wanted to tell you guys this because we glossed over it slightly. Yes. So the Easter egg that kind of tied it into the same universe is when they were in the office where Dr. Jekyll and everything was going on, the guy or the girl hit the bodyguard with a book, and that book was the Book of the Dead or the Book of the Living. I know there was two books. It was the
Book of the Dead.
Was it? Because it was the tan one. It wasn't the black one.
Black.
It was what?
The Book of the Dead is gold. The the book that brings life is black, because
okay.
The dead brings the dead back to life. The Book of the Life brings the dead back to the dead.
Gotcha.
I know.
So they had the book with the little thing that pops open that has the star, and then you can twist it. So that was kind of a reference or an homage to that, which I really enjoyed, because then I kind of wondered that from the beginning: is this the same universe? Could Brendan Fraser come into it and without just a thing? And he could.
It was in like his 50s during World War II, which was the third Mummy movie.
Just saying, he could be in there. Anything can happen. It's a Mummy movie. It's not like It's not like it needs to follow any like sort of hierarchy of physics.
I don't think exact science is at play here.
I was gonna say
He's a magi. He's gonna be there.
So when you said that Tom Cruise doesn't play like the skittish, or not skittish, but like scaredy cat type deal. How did you ever watch Live, Die, Repeat, or the or alternatively named
Edge of Tomorrow, right?
Edge of Tomorrow. I did not.
I mean,
That's a really good movie.
I heard good things.
I really thought it was like, though he had like played the same like jumpy-ish kind of
shell shock.
Ever since Jack Reacher and Mission Impossible, that confidence he portrays, I see that in his character anytime he plays it. So that's how I assumed he would be. And he was kind of like that towards the end with the confidence, but he was still, as a character, trying to find out what he wanted to become. And even at the end, that's kind of what they were alluded to, is he wants to be this. And so that's what they did.
His confidence level stayed the same from Tropic Thunder on.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, Tom Cruise. Like, kindly step the fuck back and fuck your own face. Hilarious. Love it. This show's not for children, by the way.
So I liked it. I do like the idea of the dark universe.
Les Grossman, that's his name.
I'm excited for them. I'm excited for the films in general to do like a intertwined universe deal with single movies and stuff.
Did they say what's next? Like, I haven't heard anything about what would be next, but I don't know. Some sort of like, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of somebody, because technically, is it a DC franchise kind of thing? No. I'm trying to figure out who it would be under, but yeah.
The rights to all those characters have been owned by Universal for quite some time. That's why they release movies using some of those characters over the years. So they've owned them since, the 20s or 30s in terms of the movie rights. I think overall, and we've talked a little bit about on the Nerdcast, you could do so much with some of those characters that I think a lot of people have told stories. So you've seen them in comics, you've seen them elsewhere as well, video games and everything too.
Yeah, that's something that I think there's a lot of potential for different characters to come out. I feel like there was like other things that I saw in the movie that kind of led to something. Like, I know there was a skull with vampire teeth. I saw that. Like, I thought like Swamp Thing might be like the next, or some like lagoon creature or something, because I thought I saw something there that like in the background that made me think of that. But I know Swamp Thing's going to be like in the DC universe, so that's why I'm kind of a little worried.
I don't.
Thank you, Dale.
Thanks, Dale. I don't know. I mean, I thought the movie overall was fine. What else? What else did we? Anything else we did with that? I feel anything.
I'm trying to think if it was anything. Well, there was one thing I was going to mention for Iggy's joy. The actress Mummy Girl at one point in time is
Sophia Botello.
Yeah, she's in this very, I don't know how to describe it.
Taggart.
I had to look at my girlfriend and be like, that. But like, she was like tied up and like arms behind her back.
When she had the
like
chains
kneeling on the ground, and I'm just like,
we need to move on with this line of questioning, guys.
It is. You guys are still talking sexy news, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm
Iggy,
saying, yeah.
How do you masturbate?
No,
we're gonna go back
not
to that.
again.
Gonna go back to that.
Maybe I will go see the Mummy in theaters then. I don't know.
Pee Wee Herman.
All right, so. All right, this next bit here, Dale.
Yeah, what's a CPL?
So Michigan has joined the ranks of states that no longer require a class or some type of certification in order to, or even I think a license to carry a concealed weapon now. So if you wanted to carry a pistol, you always could carry a pistol in the United States openly. But now with this new law just in Michigan, you no longer need to take the or to get that license in order to carry concealed now.
So what you're saying is most states offered the ability to open carry.
Yeah, that's the Second Amendment.
And that means that, you could wear a vest holster or whatever and have it over shirt unless your state, said
No.
otherwise.
All you would be able to do it anywhere publicly in the United States.
Federal law allows you to carry a gun. Many states over the years put in extra laws to say people who are hiding their guns or concealing them and need to have a special permit for this. I know the state of Kansas did this, it retracted that law as well, or changed it to where there was no certification needed for it as well. And it was a big, big controversy. There was a lot of back and forth on it, I remember. And it seems to be one of those things that, I don't know, you can make arguments on both sides, in my opinion.
I'm kind of interested to see what this would do for possible gang violence in Michigan, where, sadly as it sounds, being able to, able to essentially, it sounds terrible, but use a weapon on somebody for probable cause to then be able to search them and detain them, which is unconstitutional and illegal. We all know this, but it happens all the time for cops.
Well, the biggest issue is this is not affecting any law that requires you to get a gun. So the process to own a gun is the exact same. There's no difference in that. You can still go to your local gun shop, Walmart, any place, any store that sells a gun, and purchase a legal, pistol, ammunition, anything that you want to do. And then once you have that gun, you're supposed to register it with the police, and that's not changed either. But let's say somebody, like you said, a criminal who wants to, the process of getting the gun hasn't changed. It's just the concealing that weapon. You need a permit for that. But again, that's an 8-hour class that you take on a Saturday. It's not really, if somebody wanted to within, let's say the like you're saying, gangs or violence like that, if somebody wanted to just say, hey, go get a thing, we'll all be legit and won't have any issues.
So my question being, like, if a police officer would be like, hey, do you have a permit to carry that weapon concealedly? That gives them essentially a reason to stop someone with a weapon to be able to do that.
If a police officer sees that you have a weapon on you, it is not concealed. If you can tell that person has a weapon, it is not concealed. Therefore, it's open carry. And if you're trying to conceal it while you're open and carrying, and a holster means open carry as well. If you clearly have a holster on, that's open carry. Then again, this way they would say, like, hey, that's open carry. And they would ask, do you have a concealed weapons permit? If you do, and you're trying to conceal it, then there's an issue there. But again, it's a slap on the wrist compared to anything else. It's not like it's legit. Like, you pay a fucking fine. Nothing big deal.
I think that what you're saying and what I'm saying are two different things. I'm saying that racist cops, especially even in Michigan, would use the fact that essentially they have a right to be like, hey, like, are you able to actually have that gun with you there, like in your glove box, or, in your concealed on your person, if they're frisking somebody, and then they get their information and look through it. And while they're doing that, try to find something else to pin a crime on someone. Like, I think that happens a lot.
But I feel like this would take away from that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm interested to see this kind of effect that it would have on that.
I don't think that happens as much as you might think. And the reason I say that is because even though Detroit and Wayne County, that's where Detroit's located at, is primarily Democratic or a Democrat following, the gun laws the gun ideals with everybody here, I'm not saying everybody obviously, but majority of those people carry a weapon legitly or carry it in some way, just because of I guess maybe either the city or what. But I know a lot of my friends have concealed weapons permits and no longer need them.
I'm trying to pull up. This is 4 white guys on a podcast here. I'm just trying to pull the race card. Like, I don't care about the weapon, how the people feel about being able to carry weapons. I'm just saying that, like, this is a situation that I think cops were probably going to be able to take advantage of before, and now they can't. And to say that, especially the Detroit police don't have a big race problem. I mean,
but is there any, so after say you go through the proper channels of acquiring a gun, is there any long-standing, is there anything that you need to carry to say that you can even?
Right now, if I was to go to Walmart, I could buy a weapon and a holster and walk out of the store with my gun.
Yep. But
I have
if you had your concealed carry, you could buy a gun, and walk out the store with your weapon concealed.
No, in that case, no. Technically, you cannot. You have to carry it to the car, and then once you're at the car, you have to conceal it. So you have to leave the store. But yes, technically, more or less, you can.
But so what I'm saying is, here you have to go through a 5-day hold to purchase a gun. If you buy a gun online, it's got to go to a licensed receiver. You can't just ship it to your house through Amazon. It's got to be received at the right place. You have to. There's things you have to do in the state of Nebraska.
It has to go to the police station.
Or a place like Dick's that can receive it.
Yeah, and some places do that with the background check. My sister had some issues with a concealed carry and purchasing a gun. And that's a story for another day. But she actually was able to, after 3 days, she was able to get the gun.
I mean, you can still go to Iowa and pick up at a gun show and walk out of there with whatever gun you want.
Exactly.
I'm on Amazon right now, and there is a Crossman dual ammo full metal revolver for just a little over $70 available for Amazon Prime. I could get it in 2 days. I don't know. Now, if I was to order it, I don't know if it's going to put me through any security checks or holds or anything, but it is on Amazon.
I'm going to buy it right now. $70 revolver? Fuck yeah.
It blows up in Dale's hand. All right, so let's move on here. I think it's pretty interesting news there, that bit. But what's this bit about Daniel spent more on a motorcycle than I could afford a car?
One of our good friends.
No, do it up, Josh.
Okay, so I got the Snapchat the other day. One of our good friends just bought a really, really nice BMW motorcycle. It was a BMW, right? That's what I thought I saw on there.
Yeah, I don't know the exact brand, and the image I found was very similar to what it looks like.
It does look,
but I know he paid, I believe, $18,000 for the bike, $8,000 for the helmet and jacket and everything, and the gloves, and so he got everything safety. But I think the total cost for everything was $18,000. So it probably was like a $10,000 bike.
Yeah, even then, and that was with his BMW discount, probably, if it is a BMW bike. So that was pretty sweet. But I kind of just wanted to talk about this. I don't know why, but I think it's kind of nice. Motorcycles, guys. How does everyone feel about motorcycles?
I really want to get one right now.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? How do we feel? Would we ride one?
Well, what do you feel? I honestly have no appeal to ever get a motorcycle.
My family's a Harley family. It's kind of the same way I am about guns. I have nothing wrong with motorcycles. I have nothing wrong with guns, but I'm in no rush to go get any of that. Right now, I don't need to order one off Amazon or walk into Walmart for a gun. But I've always liked Harleys, in particular to Fat Boys, Road Kings, if you want to go luxury and style. But if I really want to ride one, I can just go visit my dad and not pay the insurance on it.
I would say I'm in no rush to buy one. I know Daniel and my brother-in-law tried to convince me to say, go just get a $2,000 Honda or something. And yeah, I see the appeal, and I would probably get one in the future, but I would actually want a RV before I get a motorcycle, honestly.
When I was in Michigan, Dale literally whispered over to me. He's like, I think I want to buy a motorcycle. So I don't know.
No, I want to get one. It's not like I don't want one, but I'm against it or whatever. I think it'd be cool to have because I'm so close to work, because the breeze. I like riding my bicycle. I see the appeal, and I see being it so cheap, it'd be nice. But
all right, and Drew,
what?
You were gonna say something about a motorcycle?
Oh yeah, I've been putzing around on Craigslist for a little bit.
You had a motorcycle at one point in time.
Yeah, and I was telling Tasha's dad what was wrong with it. And he was like, "Oh, I probably could have fixed it in an afternoon." I was like, "God, yeah." But
You needed the money.
yeah, well,
Woof.
yeah.
But
yeah,
I want to say this, just to add on there. I don't think the world wants to see Dale or I riding on like a crotch rocket or something.
No, I would do the Harley, the Indian, the Honda. Not going.
I had a Goldwing, and like I heard that is like one of like the most luxurious bikes ever.
My grandfather had a Goldwing.
If Tesla made a motorcycle, though, I don't know if I like, and it was like 10 grand, I'd be thinking about it, honestly.
what was the one that freaking A? There was one that was the guy had a 4-wheeled. It was like a motorcycle that had 2 front wheels and 2 back wheels, and like it had like a Viper motor, and when you like turned corners, it like
it was the Tomahawk, the old
like
it was a V12 in that.
Yeah,
thing.
the V12 it had a Viper motor, and it was like you turn corners and it like the wheels
would shift. Yeah, that looked like one of the light bikes from Tron. Which you can actually buy a Tron light bike.
$50,000
might be one of the other things that I would maybe possibly consider driving.
Like if I had a $50,000 expendable dollars and was already debt free, I would totally buy a light bike. But
not to stop and change the subject, Iggy, do you want to tell people what just happened on TV?
Yeah, so the night we're recording is Game 6 of the Stanley Cup. So if anybody is interested in hockey, the Pittsburgh Penguins are the first repeat or back-to-back Stanley Cup champions since the 97-98 Detroit Red Wings. So I do not care at all for the Penguins, being a Red Wings fan, but congratulations to Pittsburgh. It's a good series. If you're into hockey and you like to see good goaltending, it was definitely a good show for you.
I'm glad that they beat the Preds because the Preds beat the Ducks. So,
oh, you're a Ducks fan?
Yes, I'm a Ducks fan.
The Flying V.
Yeah, who has been to
any professional team that's named after a Disney movie? I kind of have to question.
Hold on, pause. There's not very many. First of all, and second of all, they've beat the fucking Red Wings to the playoffs.
Whoa!
So, how many cups do they have?
4.
Not 11.
What? Well, not only not as many as the United States team with the most. Only Canadian teams have more than Detroit, but I do not believe the Ducks have 4 cups.
How many Stanley Cups do the Anaheim Ducks have?
Come on, Siri.
1.
One?
Just 1. Detroit is 11.
I've been sitting here with my one finger up the whole time.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
To be fair, there's 3 Red Wings fans on this podcast and 1 Ducks fan. So, I mean,
that's the number of times that I didn't win the Stanley Cup. They've been to the Cup 4 or 5 times, though, haven't they?
I'm looking right now.
You want to talk appearances where the Red Wings have made it too?
Anaheim Ducks has 1 win and 1 loss, so they've been twice.
For the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, 2003, 2006.
They always have good promise, Drew. They just always fall short.
Yeah, right at like the last seed.
Damn it, Coach Bombay.
Quack. 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 All right, so let's get into nerdy news. Daniel got a bike. Cool. Good on him. Hope he doesn't crash and burn.
Yeah, please be safe. Everybody out there, make sure to look twice.
He wanted me to ride with him to Leo's Coney Island this morning. I was like, thank you. I will be walking over riding on that fucking bike. Because Daniel's the guy that's going to fucking try to show off or do something when I'm on it.
He wants you on the back of that bike?
Yeah, he wants me to be the bitch.
I don't think that's possible.
You can't do more balls than wheels, okay?
I mean, it would be really easy to flip that thing though if Dale was on the back.
Yeah, but I mean, he wouldn't. I don't think he would go that fast, honestly. But he brought it up, and I was like, we'll just drive.
Speaking of flipping that thing, nerdy news. That doesn't have anything to do with
that.
It.
Doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, he does flips. Maybe not in the trailer, but he does flips.
Oh, he does flips.
I think he even did one in the trailer too.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he actually does. Yeah. So let's talk about this new trailer.
Oh, Is that me?
I didn't know. I was, yeah, kind of.
Oh, the new Black Panther trailer came out. Was it last Thursday?
I thought it was just like a couple days ago.
I was like,
It dropped on Friday night during the NBA Finals,
okay.
and it's almost like DC was like, we're going to release one of the most epic superhero movies with the first ever female lead, and then Marvel's like, here, hold my beer, because then they had to answer with like, this is what we're doing with diversity and superheroes, and that Black Panther trailer was the trailer alone was incredible. I'll buy that trailer on Blu-ray. I will pay to buy the trailer on Blu-ray.
Now there's two characters that I love that I really like, that secret society thing. In DC, it's Rog, I think his name is. It's the gorilla. Krog, is that what it is? Josh and Mike's muted, so that's why you both muted.
Grog.
Grog. Yeah.
So he comes from a advanced gorilla, but it's like hidden. It's a hidden society that has advanced stuff. So like that society, and then the Black Panther is almost the exact same. Has that hidden society in Wakanda, I believe it is. So I think these are very two of my favorites.
He's just like the protector. He's not like part of like a secret service or anything, right?
Well, he's the prince of the king of the country. So his father, the king, always to protect the country, which I won't go into too much spoilers because I'm sure it'll play a role in the movie. It sits on a very large reserve of a very special metal. We'll just put it that way. And so there's a lot of technology that they've been able to create over time, but they pretend like they're a third world country and don't really show off that technology. And it's the prince's or the king's job to be trained. As the prince, you're trained to become the next Black Panther. And once you become the king, you are now the protector of the country. So the king to outsiders looks just like a king of a third world country. But to the actual country, the king is the person who is their superhero, who's fighting them off, basically.
But do the people know that? Is that
like the Wakandans?
Do they know that the king is also?
I don't think they know.
It's like Spider-Man.
It's one of those things where I think a lot of people he's like a myth to a lot of people.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like he wasn't like Tony Stark was like, I'm Iron Man, like he was like, hey, I'm the king and that's it. I am only the king. But also, are we not like spoiling vibranium? Is that what the metal is?
Well, I thought, you could really go two ways with that in the Marvel universe, vibranium or adamantium.
But
I believe it is a vibranium.
It is.
They said it in the last movie the Black Panther was in. Like, I don't know.
It was in Ultron. It was in...
Why are we trying to spoil it?
Yeah.
Come on,
I don't know. Because I wanted to protect something. I don't know.
He wants to protect Wakanda from...
Are you the Black Panther?
I have seen some very... Man, why do I have to be the racist guy here this time? But
your mind's in the gutter, that's why.
Well, there's been a lot of things I've seen on the internet where, like, people keep posting pictures and they're like, this is what Africa would be like if the white man never came. Like, and I was just like, no, like, maybe Ghana and, like, a couple other, like, major kingdoms in Africa would have been that way, but, like, not all of Africa would have been that way. But
wait, what is the image that they're this is what it's
there's
like?
a still from the trailer where like it's showing like all like the advanced tech and stuff from Wakanda and but did anyone see in the trailer if the guy who's kind of talking about he knows where everything's hidden, did he have a missing hand yet or not? Because I did not see that.
Clow, I don't know. I didn't see it in the trailer.
Because that would tell me whether or not the timeline takes place before or after Age of Ultron. I would assume after Age of Ultron because he was.
I think because he's he captured in Age of Ultron, and then Martin Freeman's in the following Captain America. So then he's there.
Yeah, he becomes Black. He becomes Black Panther in Captain America.
Yeah, and that's why I was just like, I don't know if this is supposed to take place after that, but it didn't look like he had a missing hand, so I didn't know what they were going to do about that because he gets his hand cut off.
I'm looking at something right now, and he's wearing gloves, so you can't really tell.
Maybe he's got a Luke Skywalker
arm. What's the actor's name? What's the guy's name? It's like N'Challa, right? or is that the character's name? NCHALA or whatever. We saw that on a license plate. Isn't that his name?
T'Challa's the character name
for the Black Panther.
That's so I thought we saw that on a license plate today, and I was like, "Hey, isn't that Black
We
Panther?"
did?
No,
I was like,
we didn't drive together.
that's why I was like, I don't remember this.
We, as in me and Tasha.
Oh, she's not on this podcast.
Shut up.
But yeah, so Black Panther, does anybody know when's that coming out? It says 2/16.
It's 2/16/18.
2018. Okay, cool. That looks good.
Oh, that's not this year? Darn. I thought it was this year. I was really excited for it.
There's another one that comes
There's
up
something
like, really soon here. I can't remember what it is.
You have The Amazing Spider-Man next month. Spider-Man Homecoming. Excuse me. During Comic-Con weekend, actually. And then you have Justice League is October, November, maybe?
I think it's November.
And then I thought there was one more Marvel one, too.
There was the other one with the French graphic novel, Beautiful Valerian. That comes out.
Oh, yeah. Valerian's out in July. I'm so excited for that one.
It looks so
I love it. Yeah, that was a graphic novel. It really won, and they were after it's been something that's been in kind of concept since the 90s. They were talking about since The Fifth Element, and I'm really excited to see it come to the big screen.
Are the graphic novels in French? Because that's what I thought. I remember.
You can get them in English.
You can? Okay. Because I was trying to find them, and I could only find the French version.
They're on Amazon.
Okay.
Josh was like, I could buy them in like 2 minutes, and he's like, but then most of the time they're in French, and I was like, yeah, it's not gonna take you 2 minutes to learn French.
Yeah. I was looking for them, and I couldn't find them on Amazon. So if someone can send me a link to that would be great. Because I kind of wanted to read them. Because I heard that. From what I remember reading about it, like those graphic novels inspired like Star Wars, inspired Blade Runner. I mean, everything that we love and hold nerdy to our hearts today, like seems like it came out of those graphic novels. So I really kind of wanted to read that and see how it all began.
Yeah.
I'm looking up a little thing for the timeline for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it looks like the Civil War and then Spider-Man Homecoming will be right after that. And then Black Panther will be right after that, kind of around the same time frame. And then Doctor Strange started right around when Ant-Man started, and then Doctor Strange finished after Black Panther's movie. So it's kind of a stepping stone.
The actual timeline. I thought you meant like release timeline. I was like, that doesn't make sense. But
no, let me. I'll screenshot it, but I'll post a link on our site for a more detailed.
Nice. Yeah. So moving on from the movie news here. E3 was is going on currently. Does anybody have any news from that? Iggy, you were kind of spouting something earlier.
Well, the Xbox had their big debut, and it had already been hinted at. The ZOX is what they're calling it, the Xbox One X, which will be their really heavy-duty 4K system. But the huge bit of news was the backwards compatibility update that they're going to do all the way back to the original Xbox on many of their games. So you're going to be able to play games from all three generations of systems on Xbox One.
The bit with that is it's only going to, it's going to be DLC. You're going to have to buy the game regardless. Like, unless they do some sort of Xbox games with gold for the backwards compatible Xbox games.
I don't know. Microsoft always finds a way to make extra money off of you.
Yeah, but I mean, they're currently doing a 360 game that's down that plays on your Xbox One for the games with gold.
You say they always look for money. But look at Windows 10. They didn't ask for any money for Windows 10 for the first year.
With good reason.
I understand why. It's fucking Vista.
But yeah, so, I mean, I would assume...
Oh, and Windows 8. Fuck Windows 8. I'm sorry.
Dale, this isn't a Windows bashing podcast.
Everything should be a Windows bashing podcast.
Just do it.
Says the three people who are currently I guess I don't know if Iggy's using.
He's using a Mac.
You're using a Mac, so two out of two or 2 against 2. Because Josh and Iggy use Macs and me and Dale use PC. Except for Dale probably runs like Ubuntu or something like that.
No,
You
Dale.
think okay?
The other thing I was
Wait a
I'm
second.
sorry, I was gonna jump you guys back on topic for E3. The other huge news was they finally released some footage, or at least some screenshots of Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh, they got live video. They got video footage of it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. A couple of bits about the actual performance specs of the Xbox One X. 6 teraflops of GPU, 12 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, and then the 4K resolution, which they're saying will basically convert even your not convert, but make your non-4K like games, the ones that don't have 4K updates, look even better anyway. However, that's not going to make any difference if you have a junky TV like me still. So, and Josh.
I'm very surprised that like I didn't do anything spectacular. I have a Google alert set up for E3 and nothing really exciting coming out about it. They were talking about the Project Scorpion or whatever it's called, One X is not 8K, and I think for being a futuristic or the next thing, not supporting 8K was an issue.
I don't think 8K isn't even like a major TV.
No, exactly. But I think if they want to step up to that next level, I think that's going to be something that they could have put them over the top.
But see, the problem with going to 8K is that people are just getting around to buying 4K TVs. Like, so if they jump completely up, you're going to put your buyability out. Though I know, you could probably down convert to 4K if it plays 8K. However, I think that with 4K, it's just getting around to in a lot of people's houses.
I guess you're right, because the kind of people that I watch on YouTube or the news I follow is more, I don't want to say premium, but it's more of the, what is the next thing that's coming out? What is the top tier things that you can get? So I guess I understand, because like right now I'm watching HD TV, not on 4K, because I think 4K is too much for my eyes to really tell a difference with the size of my screen.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
But then a couple bits on the games that are coming out. We had obviously the Assassin's Creed Origins, which Iggy was talking about. Did you have any more to say about that, Iggy?
It's Egyptian.
Yeah, I was in Egypt, and I think the biggest thing I saw screenshots of were the gameplay footage. There was no mini-map, which I think has been standard for every other release of the game. So
Also, there's no vantage points, viewpoints that you need to go to. They said they're going to make use of a buddy hawk that you get to fly up in the sky and see through its
I didn't
eyes.
see that.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which makes sense for the terrain and stuff. Like, what are you going to? You climb one pyramid, you can see the entire everything. So,
the last, couple notable bits is Minecraft is going to be inter-platform playable
free,
for free.
isn't it?
The the game's not
I thought you
free.
meant like from Xbox One to Xbox
No,
One X.
I mean, you're gonna be able to play with Xbox and PC and Switch players.
Really?
Yeah, it's inter-platform ability.
That is only for the accounts, though. That is not that you can play. A Xbox person can't play with a PC person.
Yes, it
The
is.
platforms are too different unless they're completely revamping the Xbox. Only is it going to be for the Xbox One X?
Yes.
If it's for the Xbox One X, possibly, because the game might read it differently. But as it stands right now, how it encodes the data, Xbox One doesn't support Java.
They're doing a whole completely different revamp. So what they're saying is that in the ad, you'll be able to play with your Xbox person will be able to play with your Nintendo Switch person, and your Nintendo Switch person will be able to play with your PC person, and And so hopefully that works. I mean, I know that they have been toting inter-platform ability for a while, or trying to get that going. And then the last bit of game would be Anthem, which we were trying to figure out the entire time what it was going to be. And there was one game that I was trying to figure out what it compared to or looked like comparably to, because we kept saying, "Oh, is that Halo? Is it a different type of different trailer for Destiny?" Though we've already seen the Destiny trailer. I don't know, but it ended up being Anthem, and I will eventually remember the other game, but
It's not Dantham.
It's not Dantham. It's not Dantham.
Drew said it started with a D.
I thought it started with the D.
I just thought that maybe Dantham is.
But anyway, that gameplay looked very cool. Similar, kind of like to a Halo / Titanfall, as you have these different suits, like Halo type suits that you can get in and out of. However, they're not giant like Titanfall characters. So that looks interesting. Other than that, there's nothing much that I saw. Life is Strange. Before the Storm was one of the indie type games that they're doing, and that was a really cool game that I liked from last year, or not last year, I guess a couple of years ago now. Great soundtrack, great kind of multi-directional based gaming, kind of like the Telltale games. That's it for me for Xbox.
I wasn't too interested in E3 this year. I'm not quite sure what was happening, but it just kind of...
I think it's a technology rebuild.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes and no.
Nothing really eclipsed my expectations.
God, I hate you so much.
And speaking of eclipses, let's move on to science.
Oh, was that a segue?
No, it's when
is a non sequitur
passes in front of the moon.
What is it called when you move from one thing to
I'm
another?
eclipsing right now my face.
No, I think
I
don't think that's right.
I don't know. But moving on from nerdy news to sciencey news, kind of briefly here before we get into our what should honestly have been the main topic, but whatever. Well, I guess there's even more sciencey news coming. So this August, the 21st, myself and Dale and the rest of the world will be able to, well, not the rest of the world, some of the world will be able to experience a full eclipse, which is pretty awesome. Sometimes you get other eclipses where the Earth is closer to the sun, so it's not like a full eclipse.
Sometimes you get other eclipses where it's not covering the sun.
That's right. That's exactly right. Thank you, Drew, for pointing that out. But yeah, so in Nebraska, especially some of our people that are in the Missouri area, I'm trying to think of where else. Arkansas. Is it? Dale, Drew, can you pull up the map real quick so I can see where it's going to go?
What map?
The eclipse path.
This one?
I got it. So it's going to go through just south of Portland, Oregon. It's going to go right into the base of Idaho, right through the Strait of Wyoming, kind of curves over to Nebraska, right through the cross of Nebraska, down into Kansas City, a little north of that, through Missouri, into the tip end, the most west of Kentucky, half of Tennessee, a little between Charlotte and Atlanta, then right through South Carolina completely. So there's a map we're going to have probably either as our main image or definitely as something we can post on our site and probably on social media just to get it out there. But there's going to be 3 lines, 2 blue and 1 red, for the greatest duration, for the greatest eclipse viewing. In order to see that corona, the best, you want to stand on that red line, the center of the focal point, pretty much. That's where the totality of the eclipse will be the best of you. 100%.
Why aren't we going to St. Louis area?
Why would we need to? It's literally in Grand Island.
But it's the greatest duration.
No, this was a still pulled from
I was
the
kidding.
Smarter Everyday clip, correct, Dale?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so those people that listen to the podcast know one of mine and Dale's favorite channels. I don't know if Drew's a big Smarter Everyday fan.
I don't need to be smarter every day. I'm already smart.
Good. I appreciate it.
Good. I appreciate it.
There's a YouTube channel called Smarter Every Day, and the host of the channel, Destin, lives, I believe, in Tennessee.
Alabama.
Lives in Alabama.
Yeah, he lives about 30 miles outside of the University of Alabama.
Okay. And he's an engineer he was an engineer.
He has a
Aerospace,
bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and a master's degree in aerospace engineering.
aerospace engineer. Yep. I'm trying to remember all this from like just memory.
Me too, and I did.
It's been a while. Well, he's in your field, Dale.
My bad.
Aerospace engineering part. But pretty awesome YouTube channel, and he did a very special video with a gentleman who created an app to tell you based off your phone's GPS location where to be, and while the eclipse is going on, it will describe certain events in the eclipse in real time to you on your phone. Dale, I'm pretty sure you have the name of that app since you remember so much about Destin and Smarter Every Day.
I know you did.
I do. It's the solar eclipse timer.
Solar eclipse timer is
Yes. Why it's called timer, I don't know why, but apparently there's a boil water alert in Livonia, and I want to make sure my family knows that.
Yeah, it was all over my Facebook today, and Farmington Hills. So people who live in Farmington Hills and Livonia, please boil your water because you're about to get flinted.
By the time this airs, won't that be a little late of a warning?
It might be a little.
It'll be a lukewarm topic at that point in time.
But yeah, solar eclipse coming in August.
Do you think on that day we'll get a strange being from another world?
I hope I get superpowers. Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Well, do you think like a giant man-eating plant will come down from
Oh
them?
my god! I just realized something, guys.
What?
In Heroes, there was someone in Odessa, Texas, Japan, New York City, like all over the world, and they all saw the eclipse at the exact same time, which I'm just now putting two and two together.
That's not possible.
That's not possible.
Oh yeah, there's things like that I love to figure out. Like, no, that's not gonna happen.
This just dawned on me.
Wait, hold on.
That is
Pause.
impossible.
Were they in different states, or weren't they all in the United States?
No, all over the world.
Hiro Nakamura was in Japan.
Was he in Japan?
And he looks up and sees the eclipse.
Yep.
Hiro was in Odessa, Texas. She looks up and sees the eclipse. And then
maybe
Peter
that's the
Petrelli.
phenomenon. Maybe
Yeah, everybody sees the eclipse. It was dark 5 seconds ago. What the fuck?
No, it was light 5 seconds ago.
No, it was dark. They
What?
saw they
It
were
was nighttime. Like,
was nighttime
it's
and
3 a.m. There's the sun.
Oh, that's true.
maybe the Earth is flat.
Don't get people started.
Drew, I'm now a believer.
Thanks, Heroes.
All thanks to a television show.
One of the greatest, honestly.
Except for that just breaks it. I hate that show now.
You hated Heroes?
No, now I hate
because
it.
the science doesn't
because
check
the science doesn't check
out.
out.
Not the people flying around or having, powers or whatnot, but the eclipse, that fucking broke it for you.
I mean, if we would have been more attentive at that point in time, we probably would have.
I don't think I actually knew how eclipses worked.
What?
Like,
What?
I'd hope enough to know that Japan and the United States don't have daytime at the same time.
Well, it's just one of those things you don't think about when you're watching a show. You're like,
Well, so
like even if it was like throughout like the same 24-hour period, like that path though is just impossible for the eclipse to go through. Like,
but hold on. So this path goes. At what point does it drop off? Like
it like barely starts.
It
Just
starts. I can get another image, but it starts right on the other side of. So it probably goes about an Oregon width outside of Oregon into the water, and then same thing on the other side of the image. It's
it's just not an eclipse. Like there's no action.
the moon moves away from the path, and then the sun we're rotating so it doesn't line up again.
Are we all just gonna dodge the fact that Dale said Oregon?
Oregon.
Width.
Oregon.
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 Are you making fun of how I say Oregon or Nevada?
No one calls it Oregon.
Nevada. What? California. California.
California. How do you say it?
California.
I say Oregon. That's how it is.
Arizona.
The Oregon Trail. That's what I learned when I was a kid.
I can remember Oregon Trail.
Yeah, but it wasn't called the Oregon Trail. It was called the Oregon Trail. And so
It's called the Oregon Trail, but I remember Oregon Trail. I've said that before.
yeah, Oregon Trail. That's what I've always heard. So in my head, I'm like, Oregon.
Well, like
Hey, how do you say Oregon?
Oregon.
Yeah. What about elementary?
Elementary.
Yeah, elementary.
elementary, my dear Watson. Elementary.
Yeah, I say elementary.
That's true.
I'm a special ed student.
I say Wednesday too.
I mean, you're pronouncing it correctly when you read it.
And I also pronounce them fajitas and fillets. Quesadillas.
Now you guys are talking food. Now I'm getting all excited.
Again.
Well, like I was at my sister used to work at Wendy's, and she would tell me that probably 30% of the people that ordered the fillets would say, "Can I get a chicken fillet?" And they're like, and I did that for literally probably 2 years before I knew it was called a fillet.
A fillet of fish.
Yes. Yes.
A fillet of fish. And I want a half Coke, half Diet Coke.
I want a liter of cola.
I'm trying to watch my figure.
A liter of cola.
Take one of those nuggets and throw it out.
I want 6-piece nuggets, but I only want 4 of them. Listen to me.
What is this from?
It's from Tenacious D.
Jack Black's drive-through prank or whatever.
And then he's like,
carrot juice.
he's like,
Now
do you want anything, Josh? And then Josh would order 2 things. And then I'd be like, oh, we don't have enough money. Take the last 2 things off the menu, please.
So Josh doesn't get anything.
Exactly.
I've been there before.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. We should listen to it.
So do we also want to talk about this Intel iCore thing? I really want to get to Iggy here, guys. Iggy's just chomping at the bit.
Oh shit! Yeah, definitely.
Iggy doesn't give no fucks.
I know.
Iggy doesn't give no fucks.
Like, what am I talking about? But so this month's Sexy Nerd of the Month is not just Iggy. It is all of Project Nerd, all of Project Nerd's affiliates, including the wonderful Nerdcast podcast, the
Project Nerd Publishing. Yes. I'm not sure if, you know what, let's pimp it out anyways. The Project Cosplay, when that happens again, Iggy's still going to have his fingers in that pie, and I would like to be there for a lot of that as well. Shout out to Warm
Bernie,
apple pie.
our good old friend Bernie, who's taken over that. But we'll just let Iggy kind of jump in here and tell you a little about what's going on for Project Nerd Publishing, and stuff happening.
Well, thanks, guys. I know the team's happy to be the Sexy Nerd of the Month because we're all sexy. But yeah, Project Nerd's kind of just been, I don't want to say full steam ahead again, but it's there's a lot happening again. And we'll see more and more over the course of the summer happen with the website and with the podcasts and everything that's going on. So we have had the Nerdcast back for about 6 weeks now, and we'll have our episode out this Friday as well. And the blog's gotten a few movie reviews thanks to Patrick White, and then we've got a couple of cosplay posts going up. I know Sabrina just hit me up for some stuff with that too. But a lot of people putting some effort into it to make it easier and more effective. which I think will help us because we took a little bit of a break from it all to really focus on publishing. And publishing's still going strong. I just had Gunface 3 and 4 sent to me, the files. So we have those files ready to go. I'll be getting those covers up on the website soon. But of course, you'll be able to order that. And the Escort number 2 is almost finished being colored. And of course, Billy, which everybody, thank you so much for backing the Kickstarter. But we did have a little printer snafu, but it is on its way. And then as Josh pointed out, Project Cosplay is technically not my child anymore. It's not my baby. But we will still be participating and making sure that it's a fun and awesome event.
It's in great hands, might I add. I mean, Gregor on Geeks and Bernie, and I don't know if everyone else from Gregor on Geeks is having anything affiliated with that or not, but I know Bernie is just a great person. And when I was at the last Project Cosplay, just a lot of, he got the firsthand experience with everything. So I know it's going to go, it's just going to keep getting better every year. So I'm excited about that.
Well, there was a lot of people that were involved in it, especially here in year 2, that'll still be involved for year 3. So you probably stay tuned for some more news out of the Club Cosplay team doing some part of the events, which they are definitely great at what they do. As you pointed out, Bernie was there. He was hands-on both first and second year. So he's been involved. So it's not somebody new just jumping in. And then, like I said, I'll still be involved. The other Gregoron guys, I'm sure Stacy, who's been a huge part of it, kind of my right-hand man, so to say, on the past 2 Project Cosplays. But yeah, you'll see a lot of familiarity from the first couple of years because it's been successful. But some good change coming too.
I hope we can get that hotel again. That was, I know why we probably wouldn't be able to get that hotel again, but if we can get that hotel again, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That open bar was
open bar deal.
Fantastic.
I'm pretty sure the same venue is what's being worked on now. I don't know the details on it.
Awesome.
So I'm not part of that, but yeah, I mean, Project Cosplay is pretty cool. So I think it'll be cool again.
So Project Nerd is making their way. Is the next convention you guys have Comic-Con then? Or
no, we're about to go through a nice little gauntlet. Or when I say we, I mean me. I'm going to do 3 weekends in a row. So I'll be heading down. I believe it's the 24th and 25th. 24th to 25th of June for Smallville Comic-Con in Hutchinson, Kansas. And then June 30th through July 2nd is Denver Comic-Con, which is like 115,000 people. And then the immediate weekend after that is Comic-Con, July 7th through 9th. We did just get our booth assignments from all 3 of those shows. So over the next week or 2, you'll start seeing some images pop up that'll let people know where we're going to be at each of those shows. But mostly, I mean, Smallville's pretty small, but at Denver, you'll find us at Artist Alley, and then Comic-Con, you'll find us right by the exit. Exciting news, I can kind of say it here first. We're going to have a special cosplay guest with us at Comic-Con.
Ooh.
That's very exciting.
Any you can't say who, though? Just got to say special guest?
I could say, especially since she is probably well known in the Sexy Nerd Science circle, but Esmeralda Von Katz will be joining us as a special guest. So not just for at the booth where Project Nerd Publishing will be, but she'll be participating in a lot of the Project Nerd stuff. So she'll be helping with the cosplay competition, as well as, being on panels and things like that.
Very means there's a chance for other people to win the cosplay competition this year, guys.
Since she won't be in it.
Right. So yeah, and she won't be judging. I work closely with Matt on the cosplay competition for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
There will be no local judges. I believe we have one of the members of the awesome team of Iron Brothers, Topeka, so iBot, and then My Sophie. There's Sophie. She used to be part of the Ultra Girls. Will be another judge, and then of course Papa Bear, Christopher English, returning. He was there last year, but he'll be the 3rd judge for the cosplay competition.
Very cool.
So I am really excited for Comic-Con. The new layout for how everything's going to go is just. I mean, I'm excited how big it's going to be.
Opening up the actual venue. Itself is nice.
And
I got a good look at the map the other night too, and the way the panel rooms are going to be done is going to be different this year too.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more space as y'all are talking about. So I think a lot of positive change in terms of the floor space.
Any presents for the Nerdcast coming too, or just Because I know.
Oh yeah, we'll have the whole team there. So Adam and Tyler will be joining us
Okay.
in Omaha. I think Tyler, for those looking for us in Hutch, we'll have a photographer out on the floor doing photos, and then Tyler and myself will be running the show. And then in Denver, we'll actually have Paul Jason Young, the artist of Gunface, coming in from New Zealand at our booth. So that's going to be super awesome. Gunface art, of course, some of the best artwork I've ever seen. And then at Comic Con, we'll have the full team, and I'll actually be in Omaha for a full week there, guys. So we'll have to.
Let me know if you need a place to crash.
Yeah, we got to figure this out because me and my wife decided to go to Denver for the week heading up to Comic-Con just as a vacation because my wife didn't want to go to Comic-Con. She was like, I've been to it. We did it already. And she's not really into that scene. So I said, why don't we go on a vacation so this way you have more of an incentive to go? And she's like, okay, what do you want to do around that area? And we're like, well, Denver was cool when we were there. We got to see the mountains. We like the state parks they have, and thought we'd take a weekend week trip out there and just drive. Then on the way back, come to Comic-Con, and Iggy will not be there apparently because I cannot. I was like, hey, you want to hit up and do dinner or something? And she's like, no. Go after yourself. That's what he said to me.
I did not say that.
Those exact words.
I will say that I'll take it offline for all the stuff with Omaha, but I'll be out there for a week as partly for my vacation too.
Yeah.
Because outside of all this Project Nerd stuff we're talking about, not only myself but everybody involved with Project Nerd does maintain day jobs or careers or however you want to label it. So, much needed vacation on my part. Getting to hang out I got a lot of fun people, including you guys out there in Omaha. But I will miss you, Dale, at Denver. But we'll see each other that weekend.
Yep, definitely.
Dale's underestimating how many friends he actually has out in the Denver area.
Well, no, I'm not trying to belittle the people I know out there. I'm just saying that.
I was like, we've got a pretty big following in Denver. I mean, that's actually kind of nice. Like every time we're out there, we make a bunch of friends. So,
well, I mean, we're excited for all things, con related.
Oh, always. Well, with the exception of Motor City Con, that was still garbage.
But those 3 shows in a row, and then our next show is until August after that. I wanted to bring it up because for Colorado Springs Comic Con in August, it's my birthday weekend. But 2, they just announced Pauly Shore, which I was totally stoked about.
Where is it?
Colorado Springs Comic Con.
When is that?
August 25th through 27th.
I'm going.
Dale will be in town.
Say it. What now?
The 25th.
Pauly Shore.
I'm going. Pauly Shore in Colorado Springs. Dale or Josh?
I'm not going to be able to go to Colorado Springs.
Come on. Can I borrow the Tesla?
Not at all.
Come on. It's lodging and transportation all in one.
No.
It's literally lodging.
On my birthday week, kind of.
No.
The week after.
The week after your birthday. It'll be a great birthday present.
It's right before mine, so you guys should come out.
Wow.
Party.
Yeah. Josh, you have more incentive now.
Yeah.
I make
Josh,
a
where's
schedule
the
at work
other?
I can technically get off if I
Where's
wanted
the
to.
other map?
So on the Comic-Con website, I don't think it has the full map of everything on there yet.
Oh.
No, I'm just special, so I get privileged to see stuff early.
You can find it if you know where to look.
Yeah. But it's not.
It's in the actual site map, I believe. You can find it there. Like the link is live on the website. There's just nothing that links to it yet, is what Matt was telling me the other day.
I see.
So it's in there. But yeah, we were.
So I know it's
fortunate
on
enough to-
Facebook, right?
I don't think it's all on Facebook yet. No. But yep, there it is.
There it is.
So this
There
is the
it is.
podcast arena over here. Yep, right there. So that's where all the podcasters are going to be, and we get to have like a nice newsy booth. And then AT&T's got.
And for everybody that doesn't see the video, they get to hear Josh walk through it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, as you walk in, as you go to the left, I think it's going to be Twin Creek is one of the people that's sponsoring it, and then PayPal's sponsoring, and then there's also AT&T's not sponsoring, but AT&T has a nice booth that we're going to be helping hook up people with DirecTV so they can get their Game of Thrones on for the next month.
Because this is where we came in before, right? This is the main entrance, right?
We used to come in that way.
Okay.
And then this was the convention hall before.
Yeah. So
And now that's just dedicated to
the
concessions and us podcasters.
Nice. And then they got the wrestling.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be great. And then all the panel rooms over there.
It's going to be really hard to do that with the wrestling people going, I am the dildozer.
No one's going to be named the dildo.
I actually love that wrestling name.
Tick ticklers.
Tick ticklers. But yeah, so thank you,
The dildos
Iggy.
and Maxi Patty and
Maxi Patty.
Well, thank you guys again. We do appreciate it. And we're glad to have Sexy Nerd Science still be a part of Project Nerd. So that's exciting too.
Of course.
someone's got to cover Thursdays.
Do you have a full lineup for podcasts still or no?
It's right now it's the Nerdcast and Sexy Nerd Science. I think for those that have paid attention, Erin Lay is not part of the podcast anymore. She made some career changes, so she kind of backed off some of those things. So her other podcasts won't be returning. There's possibilities we might get her here and there on the Nerdcast again, but as of right now, it's just the Nerdcast and Sexy Nerd Science. Whether somebody else will pick up Modern Sex or whether we'll start something differently will be determined at a later date. I think July is when we're really going to sit down, and now after we get past these conventions, get past the Kickstarter fulfillments and all that stuff, really sit down and look and say, okay, let's start getting a schedule back together. Let's start planning content more diligently and things like that. So
Do we need volunteers for, I say we, but does Project Nerd need volunteers for content, for writing and stuff like that? Are you still looking for?
we don't have any apps up yet, but we are going to do postings like we always have in the past. So people that do write reviews, want to do galleries like cosplay galleries, photo galleries, or even just share their, fun tech geeky products and stuff like that. They can reach out to us through email at info@projectnerd.com, or they can just keep an eye on the website and wait till the jobs link pops back up, and we'll start having some descriptions and posts up soon. But yeah, we do plan to build a big team again and really get some stuff moving. It's just right now we're kind of playing it by ear and just seeing how things come together. Because again, as we talked about, everybody's just so busy with life, and publishing. Publishing's a lot of work and takes up a lot of our time. We have a great dedicated team of publishing, a team of 4 people that actually run it, not even the people that are doing anything on the comics. And so finding the people and the time and all that to where it's not me putting in 40 to 50 hours a week or somebody else doing that as well is kind of what we're looking for first.
Nice. Well, if you ever get any screeners that you need reviewed, you know where to come to.
I know who to talk to. All right.
One of the greatest times interviewing Dragon Ball Z.
I was going to say, yeah, we sent you the Dragon Ball Z one a couple years ago.
Yeah, Frieza.
Resurrection F.
Resurrection. F is for Frieza.
F is for Frieza.
No, but also Gods and Monsters.
Was that? No, that was Dale.
That was me.
Yeah, but we still. I thought we did a thing for it.
I think
Maybe.
But there was something else I was going to mention about the Nerdcast, and I can't quite remember what it is. But something about. Dang it! I wanted to say something about Iggy's awesome monthly emails mailing list thing where I miss those being tagged with that.
Oh yeah, so
30 other people in a mailing list.
I'm notorious for being over the top organized, and for, as they call it in my career day job, over communicating, which they say is great, so they don't complain about it because
I loved it.
It's good. And the publishing team still gets it. They get the monthly emails that would just update, hey, here's what our traffic was doing, here's the content we got done, here's what we'd like to do this month. I think people responded well to it instead of me just blowing up everybody every day.
Yeah, we got about 5 or 6 different links that we're gonna put out here for Project Nerd. So everyone, make sure you check out Project Nerd this month. Sexy Nerd of the Month is the entire Project Nerd everything. And Yeah, so last week's question of the week, which I don't think we got any hits on, but I'm going to ask it again anyways. Should we remain in the Paris Accords? Last week's podcast was in the fallout of.
Well, I don't think anybody answered because I think we all know the obvious answer to that.
Well, so I think there was technically new developments at this point, or between then and now, is that the state-by-state basis now that wasn't before
it's all superficial. So anything that you hear, nothing's going to be signed, nothing's going to be ratified. The state by state is just trying to live up to what we agreed to. Nothing as far as a commitment from each state.
So the Paris Accords, there's a financial commitment. There's environmental like safety commitments, like regulating stuff.
Wasn't it Hawaii that just signed into the fact that they would follow suit?
Yeah, they can't officially sign up because to officially sign up, it'd have to be the country. But there's a number of governors or states and then even mayors at the city level saying, even though Donald Trump has pulled us out of this, we're still going to take all the terms and regulations and financials, set up everything like that, and we're going to fulfill our parts. We're still going to be a state that makes businesses lower emissions and does these certain things. We're still going to be a state that puts this much money towards environmental research. We're still going to be a state that does yada yada. That's what they're committing to. But as Dale pointed out, it's not official. So they're just doing it as a verbal commitment, which is a cool thing still.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't buy that. At the point where we recorded, or that was a recording last week,
I sent an email to my congresswoman for the state, and I haven't gotten one back yet. So,
well, didn't you do that for the Tesla thing too?
Yeah, and I had an interview with her.
Did you?
Yeah, it was on the podcast.
I don't think.
Yeah, we had a little bit of audio for it.
That's a lie.
I really did. Like I had I asked Sue Crawford.
What
talked about it.
What was the episode? I want to listen to it.
We will look that and we'll send it to you.
Yeah. We'll
do some research. Some research.
I'm gonna do the research, Dale.
But we could do that later. So I mean, we're all in agreement that at least on the podcast, we all think that we should have stayed in the Paris Accords. This wasn't the right decision to make to leave. No one's gonna try to argue that it was good for business for us to leave.
No, I'm partial to.
I would not argue with you.
Oh, I have two things to add real quick. These are the states that are standing by them. As of June 5th, these days, I think California, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington State, North Carolina, and Puerto Rico. And this just reminded me of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico today is in the process of voting to become a state, the 51st state. They did that back in 2012, and I believe they did that a few years ago prior to that. However, Congress still has to allow them to become a state. I just wanted to touch on that real quick.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either. But
50's too even of a number for everybody.
It's not even that. It's that Puerto Rico
has to change the flags. All the flags.
Yeah, all the flags got to change.
Has a ton of debt.
And that's true.
We really don't want that.
I mean, we have that too. So I guess it's just. No.
It just sucks that the people of Puerto Rico are considered American citizens, yet they have no voice in Congress. They have no voting voice in Congress, and they also have none of the benefits of it of becoming a state. So it's unfortunate.
For more information, check out John Oliver's.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the people, not for the
government.
But
this week's question of the week: which Project Nerd publishing comic is your favorite? Which I think is the correct word in there, not what Project Nerd publishing comic is your favorite.
I like that question, guys. I really like that question.
Yep. Well, we're going to take a poll here, and if people would like to, you can direct people on Friday to come to our website or go to Project Nerd and in the comment section, comment on the Project Nerd page for us.
I will let our social media admin know so she points people in the right direction to vote. I for one cannot vocalize an opinion on that. And
on the Nerdcast?
On the which one's my favorite?
Oh yeah.
He's saying on the Nerdcast, say, hey, go to 60 Nerd Sciences.
Oh yeah, we'll tell people there too. I'm saying I can't place a vote because they're all my children. I love them equally.
Yeah, but
There's
listen,
just one with your name on it.
Hold on, pause. You can pick a favorite. I mean, you know you can pick a favorite.
I really can't. If there's anything I don't personally work on, the reason it's on board with us is because it's that awesome, in my opinion. I mean, we do have a panel of 5 people that vote on anything that comes in, so it's not just my decision, but I do get a say. And then anything that I'm working on, I love for a very different reason. I love the Escort because Esme Ford as a character I created almost 10 years ago, and I've had a story there for it. I love Blaze because it deals with the superhero has clinical depression and possibly bipolar, and it's a topic not a lot of people use with superheroes. And I like Billy because Billy was just our bright shining star on Kickstarter, and I think is one of our iconic characters that just really kicks ass and was incredibly fun to write. And I'm also writing some other things too. I can't talk about them all yet, but they're exciting.
We're looking forward to it.
You can't talk about them all yet, but you can talk about some of them.
Well, we have Zukao that's going to be out soon, Kickstarted as well, which is a pretty good one. The first 10 pages, since we're doing a Kickstarter, we wanted to release the first 10 pages of it so people could get an idea what it's about. We did that with Billy. We released like the first 5 pages, but we went a little further with this one. And they just got colored. Gorgeous. So JC Grand, who does the artwork for the Escort, actually is doing the artwork here. And then we have a new colorist on board for this. And then I might letter the first 10 pages for the example, but then we're going to actually have a professional letterer come in too and letter this book. And then of course, Billy Volume 2 is going through the editor right now, so I can talk about that. But it's written. It's already written, but it's being edited. And then the artwork will start on that soon. And then there's 2 projects that I want to talk about, but I can't talk about. But one of them is super exciting.
Who's your guys' tracer?
Tracer? Oh, we most of our stuff. There's like one artist that does the
whole
pencils, inks, and the colors. Yeah. So, but as of right now, anybody who does our pencils also does our inks. So we don't have a separate pencilist and a separate tracer.
You a tracer?
I did catch your Mallrats reference there. Yes.
So Chasing Amy reference, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Chasing Amy?
Yeah, Mallrats, they're in a mall. There's nothing about comics in there.
I mean,
The whole thing's a comic shop. They're going to a comic shop to meet Stan Lee, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the whole reason in the mall.
I guess.
yeah, so there's still a lot of comic stuff. So I'm sorry. I should have just said I got your Kevin Smith reference.
However, Mallrats is about Brody and chasing it's about TS, but Mallrats has Brody and who ends up being a comic book store owner, as Chasing Amy has the other, I can always forget his name, the other Jason Lee character who is the comic book tracer or inker.
That's right.
But I always forget his name.
Yes, so my mistake, but same universe, View Askew.
Yeah.
And Dale knows none of this stuff.
Yeah, Dale's oblivious.
Yet again. Dale didn't know what Tumblr was.
Wait, you don't think I know what Mallrats was?
I had to have made you watch Mallrats. Like you wouldn't.
I know what Mallrats is. Yes.
You know what Chasing Amy is?
I know what it is. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I think it's still.
You should watch
Daniel's
it.
House.
I've seen Dogma. I've seen Clerks 1, 2. Was 2 in black and white and 3 is the new one in color? Or 2 was the one in color?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the one in color.
Yeah, where they worked at movies.
Yeah. Yes. So I've seen those 2.
Yes.
I am familiar with those that genre of movies.
All right. Well, we are well over our time frame now.
Yeah.
We need to wrap it up. So make sure you go to all of the Facebook pages, Project Nerd Publishing, Project Nerd, Sexy Nerd Science. Like those. Head over to Twitters and the Instagrams and the Imagers and the Tumblrs and the social medias.
You're so fluent with words.
And then,
You use your mouth prettier than a $10 whore.
Whoa. But yeah, go head over to the social medias for all of us here and like, subscribe, and do that. And then answer the question of the week.
By the way, that was a Mel Brooks reference. I love all women. Hashtag feminism.
I hate you. I hate you.
You guys are in Blazing Saddles. Come on. It's like you use your mouth prettier than a $10.
We heard you the first time.
I know, but it's so funny.
My name's Josh. I want to respect all women.
I'm offended. I'm offended right now.
Also, triggered.
Oh, I got a great story to tell after we do this because I don't think Iggy realized.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening to Sexy Nerd Science, Season 3, Episode 21.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Oh, my God, Dad.